Hey guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're all keeping really safe and well. Now today guys, I'm going to be potting on my Peniocereus Cacti. I think that's how you pronounce it, Menensis. And this is this plant here. And me and Hans have got quite a few different types of Peniocereus cactus plants in our collection. We've got some at the moment, Peniocereus hirsitanus seedlings, about 2 months old. Also got some Peniocereus greggii seedlings that we had grown from seed about 5 years ago now. And this one is our other Peniocereus. And this is what I'm going to be potting it on. This we've had for about a couple of years now. And it's time for a repot. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Peniocereus before I repot it, and a little bit about their care. Now, the Peniocereus is like a vining cactus that grows like a vine. And it is sort of partly epiphytic as well. And it's seen mainly in Arizona, Mexico and Texas, as well as other regions. And there's about 18 different types of Peniocereus cactus. There's a few different varieties, and they all have this sort of vining habit. They have beautiful flowers on them when they flower as well, and the flowers sort of only last for one night. They're a bit of a one-nighter, and pollinated by moths and bats as well. And with the lighting with this particular cactus, although it's saying some of the epiphytic ones like more sun, some don't like as much sun, this one actually prefers a bit more shade. It can take a bit of direct sun, but not all day sunshine, compared to things like Cereus and some of the other type of cacti, like the Hylocereus that can take full sun. This one does like part shade and part sun. So because of a bit of sun during the daytime, that's great, but not all day sunshine. I'll just show you, here's an example. This was in our south facing window, and that's why it's got a little bit of a corkiness all around the top, because it was getting too much sun. Had some wonderful sunny weather here lately, and that's why it's got a little bit discoloured there. So this does prefer a bit more shade, but not total shade. Obviously it's a bit of a indirect sunshine, or a position where it can get part sun but not all day sunshine. And then when it comes as well to the soil, these although they're more of an epiphytic cactus, they do like a very well draining soil mix, more like a cactus gritty mix than an epiphytic mix. The reason being, these plants have actual tubers underneath their root systems, and it's very rot prone. And these grow obviously in much more arid sort of regions as well. If you think of places like Arizona and Mexico and Texas, they're vining plants, and they do need that bit of extra drainage than a lot of other type of epiphytes that would be growing hanging off trees and things like that. So with the soil, a very well draining cactus gritty mix. In this case, I'll show you what I've been using here. I've made 4 equal parts of a loam based soil mixed with pumice, lava rock and grit as well. So a very well draining soil mix. Don't just go using any type of houseplant soil or anything like that, because the tuber, which I'll show you when I repot this, is very rot prone. And then in the spring and summer, they like to be watered very regularly, as long as you allow the soil in the pot to totally dry out before watering again. And then in the winter time, keep these totally dry. We don't water any of our Peniocereus, except for the seedlings obviously, but the adult plants, we keep them totally dry all over the winter. And the only time we give a bit of water is if they start to shrivel quite obviously. Then we give a little bit of water, they'll plug back up again. But they do prefer to be kept totally dry over the winter, and then regular watering from the spring all through to sort of late summer, allowing the soil in the pot to totally dry out before watering again, because I say the tuberous root. But if you're using a well draining cactus gritty soil mix, there should be no problems there. Also, and temperature, these plants, as I say, they do grow in warm climates, and they can take up to about, say, 5 degrees Celsius, which is 41 degrees Fahrenheit, even lower than that in their natural habitats, because their natural habitats will be much more arid. But if you're like me and Hans, who live here in the northern hemisphere in Ireland, where it is damp and cool, very high humidity in the winter, then obviously we would not recommend overwintering this plant any lower than, I'd say, 10 Celsius, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Lower than that, you can get a lot of scarring on these plants, and of course, because the tuberous root system, they can rot. So to be on the safe side, unless you're in a warm, dry, arid climate in the winter time, I would keep these a minimum 10 C, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's pretty much it. Fertilise 2, maybe 3 at least once a month a fertilizer. With these flowering plants, you can use a tomato feed diluted at half strength. We like to use a tomato feed with all our flowering cacti and use it at half strength. But any good quality cactus and succulent fertilizer, really when you say once a month or two times, it really depends on how often you water and the size of the pot. Usually I'd recommend giving a bit of fertilizer with every sort of third watering, or third or fourth watering. So it's at least once a month or 3 times with a good quality fertilizer. And then obviously no fertilizing at all in the winter time. So that's it. I think I've pretty much covered everything there with growing this rather amazing cactus. So here we go. And there's, as I said, there's 18 sort of different types of Peniocereus, but the care is pretty much the same for all of them. So this is the cactus mix we've used here. As I say, this likes a very well draining, gritty soil. And we've used 4 equal parts of a loam-based soil. In this case, I've used a loam-based soil by John Innes, number 2, with lava rock and pumice and grit added to it. And we got this wonderful cactus mix from our wonderful friend Daz from Cacti Mania here on YouTube. He told us about the cactus mix he's been using. We always use well-draining cactus mix with the cacti that need it as well. But this mix we're very, very happy with, I have to say. And if you want to know how to make this mix, do check out Daz's video on making this mix. Links up above. And also, before I go any further, I want to give a very special thank you to my wonderful fiancé Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today, so I got my hands free. So also do go and subscribe to Hans's YouTube channel as well. Family of Cactusy and Other Beauties, links up above. So here we go, let's get potting. And as I say, these are yeah, Peniocereus Cacti. And these are trailing, sort of trailing vining cacti. If this wasn't on this, it would just sort of go all over, even all over the floor, and then all sort of vining all along trees and local things all around it. So we've got this here on this little bit of a stick here just to support it. But over time, when these do go very long, you can put them also into hanging baskets as well. And to show you here. And as I say, these, even though they're from Arizona and Texas and things like that, this does like more shade because in its natural habitats, it will be grown amongst shrubs and things like that, rather than just directly in full sunshine. Now, when I repot a cactus here, I always like to check the roots over to check there's no signs of mealybugs and vine weevils and the like. As you can see, they're great roots, no problem there. And this is actually the first time we've potted this since we got it. We got this from Cactin. It was Cactin Haag or Ulich from Germany. I think it was Ulich. Yeah, and they use more or less the same mix of what we use in a very well draining cactus mix here. And I'll just show you how thick that lovely root is there. As I say, they have very tuberous root systems, Peniocereus. Other types, although they're sort of similar to Cereus, the dragon fruits, and Cereus and the like, these definitely like more of a cactus mix of a soil than the other ones do because of their tuberous roots. And we're very careful here. Don't need to remove too much of the soil, just gently removing it, just so it loosens it up till it acclimatises to the new soil there. And I don't want to disturb that very good, big, juicy root there, and this will have a big tuber underneath. So what I'm going to be doing here now is just gently lifting that in here into the new pot, like that. And always, when I repot a cactus, I always like to go just one size up. Oh, Hans is helping me there. That's good. I mean, I've got only one pair of hands. I like to just go up into the next size up of a pot, because if you pot them into too big of a pot and there's too much soil around, then that can also encourage root rot if they're in too big of a pot with too much soil. So this is a great gritty cactus mix here. And what I do when I repot cacti, I always like to leave it for at least a week, usually about 10 days, before I'll start to water again. So I'm going to leave this now probably for about a week or so before I introduce water, just to allow it to acclimatise into the new pot and soil and allow any roots that would have come away to settle down. That's brilliant. Absolutely great. And as I say, we have quite a few of these different types of Peniocereus in our collection, so they're pretty good, I have to say. That's pretty much it. Just want to make sure that the soil is all gone down into the pot there by gently tapping it in. And as I say, it'd be good if this flowers for us one day in the future. And when they do, the flowers only last for one day because they're night bloomers and sort of come under the category of the sort of queen of the night ones. There's quite a few different types of queen of the night cacti where they're nicknamed that because they just bloom for one night and that's it. And they get pollinated, the flowers, by sort of bats and moths. Sure that's not covered too much there. That's pretty much it. Just gently tap to make sure the soil's gone into the pot there. There we go. So now that's going to go now into the polytunnel, a bit of a shadier position because say these do like a bit more shade rather than direct sunshine, and that's going to be kept like that now, and it should be carrying on growing and growing. And the best time to repot a cactus is always the springtime, spring or summer. Spring is better because then it's got the whole of the growing season ahead to put on a lot of new growth. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to know a bit more on how to grow cacti and succulents, then please do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. Ding ding. And if you want to see a little video when we sowed some seeds of Peniocereus greggii and potting them on the little seedlings, do check out that video as well. I'll also link that up above. So guys, I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye. Bye.